Thank you so much for attending my presentation about unusual sweepers in Pokemon, and first let's talk about Terrastellar. This new type is pretty strong, especially when used with Terrablast. Terrablast has no resistances and hits all terrestrialized Pokemon super effectively, which is why Game Freak gave it a drawback. After use, it lowers your attack and special attack by 1 stage each. However, there's a way to get around this. Contrary. The ability reverses all stat changes, and surprisingly, they made it work here too. This means that, by using an 80 base power Terra boosted unresisted move, you also buff your attacking stats. This is really powerful, especially with Enamorus. Normally, Twiscarf Pokemon aren't able to boost their stats, which is a trade-off for the speed, but the Fairy can get around this. It works best in the mid to late game, absolutely tearing through chip teams. When given a free turn to click Terrablast, let alone 2 or 3, it gets out of control very quickly. You can't even defensively terrestrialize to beat it. Enamorus will just deal more damage. Currently, it's a solid OU Pokemon, not exactly top 10, but is really strong on offensive teams. Funnily enough, defense has become one of the more important stats when it comes to sweeping. It's all because of Body Press, an 80 base power physical fighting type move that uses defense instead of attack. This is really powerful and can randomly turn more supportive threats into sweepers. Body Press pairs perfectly with Iron Defense, which gives a +2 boost. What's cool about this combo is that boosting defense is good in 2 ways. It not only makes you more powerful, but it also increases bulk. Think of it like Amnesia in Gen 1, but on the physical side. Intimidate doesn't matter either, negating a common form of counterplay against physical attackers. Many Pokemon use this to great success. Zamazenta is the best, being both a top tier sweeper in OU and also winning VGC regionals. It's really difficult to take down as is, but this turns into a whole other level of scary. More supportive Pokemon can also run this move, specifically Skarmory, Corviknight, and Dondozo. All of them are already wanting to invest heavily into defense and can make use of Iron Defense or Curse. Why not let them deal damage too? When left unchecked, these monsters can slowly but surely outmuscle an entire team, or at the very least dish out some serious pain. Copycat is an interesting move, turning into the last move used by any Pokemon. This could be anything from an opponent's Earthquake to your own priority move. This is overall pretty niche, but has a weird interaction that can win entire games on the spot. When used by a prankster Pokemon, it always goes first no matter what. There are several different ways to take advantage of this, one of which is 2-turn moves. Here's an example. By using a slow Riolu or Grafaiai, or giving them a lagging tail and going for Dig, you become semi-invulnerable while dealing damage. I'm going to go through what these turns look like because this can be a bit confusing. On turn 1, your Grafaiai uses Copycat, which you set up to call Dig. Your opponent does not hit you as you're underground. After that, since Dig itself is a regular priority move and you're holding the lagging tail, your opponent moves first on turn 2. You move last, hitting them with Dig, and the process repeats. This can be scary, but as long as you have a single flying type, dark type, physically bulky threat, or a Pokemon with Earthquake, you'll be fine. Overall, the strategy is weak, bad, and will probably run out of PowerPoints before the sweep is completed. This was also done similarly with Lightpart and VGC to better results, but ran assist with a specific team to only call Dive. It had a similar effect and was very hated because of it. One of the core parts of a good sweeper is being able to boost your stats. This is often done through regular setup moves, for example Calm Mind or Sword Stance. However, there's more ways to make your attack strong, one of which is Crime. The best Pokemon at doing this is Marshadow. The Catalyst is Spectral Thief, which is not only its best stab move, but also steals the opponent's stat changes for itself. Thus, it can threaten reverse sweeps against physical attackers. Utility like this is obviously very strong, both offensively and defensively. If it gets into the right position, it can just win the entire game. What this does, however, is make your opponent scared to give you an opening. Opposing setup threats, maybe a Dragon Dance Dragonite, are always going to be terrified of you. With this, Marshadow is effectively able to stop a large portion of boosting sweepers. Other Pokemon can't do this, the best example being Magearna. While on the niche side, it can run Hard Swap to switch stat changes with the target. This isn't really a sweeping set though. While it can absolutely do so, these builds instead focus on using the amazing Steel Fairy type defensively. In conclusion, there are many ways to run through an opponent's team. We all know the main sets, but sometimes Pokemon get a bit creative, which is always fun to see. Thank you so much for watching.